All right, let's talk about a huge shift in leadership thinking. We're going to dive into this idea of empowerment over control, a whole new philosophy for getting things done. Okay, so I want to kick things off with a big question, one that probably hits home for a lot of us. We've all been told that high pressure environments, tight deadlines, that's what gets results. But is that actually true? Does pressure really create sustainable productivity? So, this whole idea that pressure is the magic ingredient for performance, let's call it what it is, the productivity myth. It's that old school traditional approach, and we're about to unpack exactly why it might be broken. When you break it down, it's like we're looking at two totally different universes of leadership. On one side, you've got the world born from pressure. It's all about control, maybe a little intimidation, and the end game is just getting people to obey. But on the other side, that's where things get interesting. That world is cultivated through trust. It's built on contribution, on a shared purpose, and the goal, forget obedience. The goal is inspiration. So, if pressure isn't the secret sauce, then what is? Well, that brings us to a whole new philosophy, one where real, lasting productivity, the kind that leads to amazing innovation, is built on something much simpler, much more human: trust. And this quote really just nails it. Productivity isn't something you can just squeeze out of people. No, it's something you have to cultivate, kind of like a garden. You have to nurture it, and the soil for that garden, it's trust. This whole approach has a name: collaborative leadership. And really, it's like a complete rewiring of how we think about management. Instead of trying to control every little thing, you invite people to contribute their best ideas. Instead of just cranking up the pressure, you bring everyone together with a purpose you all believe in. The result? You get work that's inspired, not just intimidated into existence. Okay, so that's the big idea, the what behind this philosophy of trust. But how do you actually do it? How does this become a real strategy you can use? Well, the answer is a single powerful word: empowerment. And look, I know empowerment can sound like just another piece of corporate jargon, but it's not. It's an action. It's how you send a crystal clear message to your team that says, hey, I have total confidence in you. I trust you to think, to create, and to get this done. So how does this actually play out? It's a pretty clear path. First, the leader has to genuinely show trust. That's step one. That trust then gives the team the freedom they need to really run with an idea. And what happens next is kind of magical. The team starts to lead itself. The leader's role shifts from being a micromanager to being an architect of the environment where that success can happen. Now, I can already hear what some of you might be thinking. This is usually where managers start to get a little nervous, right? You hear words like empowerment and freedom, and you immediately think, wait, does that mean I just lose all my authority? We've got to completely redefine what authority even means. So let's just face this fear head on. The single biggest myth that stops leaders from embracing this is the idea that empowering your team means you're giving up your authority. You know, the feeling that if you're not directing every move, you're not actually leading. But that is a huge misunderstanding, a fundamental one. True authority has nothing to do with just commanding and controlling people. Actually, it's the total opposite. Empowerment is the highest possible expression of authority. I mean, think about it for a second. What's more powerful, forcing someone to do a task or inspiring them so much that they want to do it and do it brilliantly? One is just enforcing obedience. The other is inspiring action. And that is where the real power is. So what's the payoff here? What's the end result of leading with trust and empowerment? Well, it completely transforms your team's culture. It takes it from a place of just compliance to a place of real, genuine courage. And the difference is a night and day. In a culture of compliance, what do you get? People follow orders. That's it. The fear of making a mistake is so high that nobody wants to try anything new. Your results are, well, they're predictable. But in a culture of courage, oh man, that's where people innovate. They take ownership. Because there's trust, they feel safe enough to take smart risks. And that's not just about getting better results. That's where you get exponential success. So in the end, what we're talking about isn't just a new list of management tricks. It's a whole new structure for your team to operate in, a living, breathing system built on three simple but powerful things: trust, the courage that grows from that trust, and the deep connection you get when everyone is united by a real shared purpose. And that really brings us to the final question, the one every single leader needs to ask themselves. Are you building a team that just complies? Or are you building a team that creates? A team that's just doing what it's told? Or a team that's innovating, owning their work, and doing incredible things together? Because at the end of the day, that choice is yours.